Hi guys, it's Kate here. I'm here to share with you the list of the best 3D printed toys for kids. I've got so many fun toys that my kids have absolutely loved when I've printed for them. We've got a really great selection of awesome toys. As always, the links to the STL files for the toys I'm going to showcase today are found in the blog post in the description. Let's get into these toys today. This is the print in place ambulance and print in place police car and print in place taxi. These print in place on the print bed, no parts or assembly is required, and they have moving wheels. I think they're a lot of fun for kids. They'd be great on a car mat or on tracks. These are a lot of fun and they're pretty good looking. I like them printed in the primary colors like this. Really happy with these print in place cars. Definitely recommend them as a fun 3D printed toy. This is another fun 3D printed balancing fish game. You stack these 3D printed fish on top of each other on this base, and the one to knock it over loses the game and you start all over again. Another great one to bring to the dinner table, out at restaurants, traveling, or for a games night. This is a really fun one that my kids really enjoyed. This is the 3D printed print in place broadsword. It prints like this, down in place, all of the layers done within each other, and then it easily slides out to make the sword, but of course you can easily put it back into place for storage. Of course my kids love this. I think I'm going to print it in some other colors for some Halloween costumes. So this is, of course, I think one of the favorite 3D printed toys of my kids from this list. This is the print in place cannon. It prints in place and has a working spring mechanism, so you can put a cannonball in there and then shoot. Of course my kids love this, and I also found this target which can work with the print in place cannon that will add a little bit of fun and strategy to this game. I think this is great for travel, going out for dinner, having this on the table and letting the kids have fun. So I'll just show you, you can actually shoot this cannonball quite far, but I'll just give it a little tiny shot. Let's try it again to see if we can get a little bit better. You definitely can, it definitely can shoot quite far, but I'm just trying to hold it only a slight, there we go, just to give you an idea of how it works. This one's a lot of fun, my kids love it. So this is the Ywing card kit. It comes 3D printed like this. You 3D print it like this into this card kit, then you'll need a little pair of clippers to cut out the pieces, and then you snap them together. So I think it's kind of fun that the kids get to build this. And if you're a Star Wars fan, then there are multiple different models available and you can create a whole collection. Here's our 3D printed hexagonal chess set. Chess sets are super popular for 3D printing. You can print all different types of characters or designs. I like this modern hexagonal shape. It looks really nice, and I think it'll be great for my son's chess set. So if your kids love Kinder Surprise eggs, then this is the best 3D printed toy for them. This is the surprise egg. It has a little fire truck inside, but there are several other versions with different cars inside. The wheels actually move on this guy, which is really cool. So this obviously prints separately from this, but this prints in place and it easily snaps open and close, and that little fire truck is a perfect fit inside this egg such that you can pack it away and your kids can have the joy of opening a surprise egg without that crazy cost. This is the 3D printed farmhouse. It's a kind of book puzzle. So it's got some really nice detailing. The hinges here and here has farmhouse. I just use 3D print filament to fill in the hinges here. So this snaps open. So it does actually stay nice and secure when it's locked. And inside we've got our puzzle pieces, and it's kind of a cool idea as they layer on top of each other. So there's a certain order to the puzzle pieces in order to get all of the animals to fit. You got all your typical farmhouse animals here. So it's fun for kids to put this puzzle together as they may get a little bit stuck in the order of which to put the pieces down, which adds to the complexity of this puzzle. Really fun for kids, and I like that it's packable. It has that secure hinge so you can bring it with you when you travel. Great 3D printed toy for kids. So this is the 3D printed alphabet train. Obviously you can print off whichever letters you please to make a name or any other word that you want to spell. It snaps together, so these all come out and they snap into place. Also the letters, and this is snapped together, snapping in place here to form the front of the train and the caboose. The wheels don't actually move, they just slightly rotate, so it's more of a decorative piece than something that your child might play with, but I think this would look awesome in a kid's room to highlight a child's name, which is why I included it on the list. So this is the 3D printed Tic Tac Toe Box. I thought this was a great idea as a toy to bring to a restaurant or if you're on a plane with kids and you want to keep them entertained. My kids are still at the age where tic-tac-toe is fun. So this prints as separate parts. It has the lid and then the case. Obviously you have the X's and O's. I used a piece of 3D printer filament to make the hinges here. And it's got like a locking mechanism, which is nice. And then I chose blue and red for my X's and O's, but obviously you can choose any color. These come out easily. And then you simply pick who's going first and play the game. Great 3D printed toy for kids. Okay, so you might have seen this chair stacking game before. Essentially, it's almost kind of like the opposite of Jenga, where instead of taking pieces away, you have to build up pieces to make a tower with only one chair on the bottom. It's a super fun game. My kids have been loving it. It's actually quite tricky to build a tower. This took me like 20 minutes and 20 tries to build, and I'll show it to you here. In terms of the 3D print, it's pretty cool. There's actually a bridge that's done to make these connecting parts here. As you can see, there's just a little bit of that extra filament that you can see, but otherwise turns out to be a really nice print. And it's been a lot of fun for me and my kids to play at restaurants or at the dinner table. Keeps everybody active and engaged. This is the 3D printed mason jar candy dispenser. This is one of the favorite toys that I've printed for my kids so far. So this prints as one, the base, and then you print this pin, which locks together back here, and that has the turning mechanism. Then you fill up your favorite candy in a mason jar here, and you place the two together, flip it over, and here we go. We have a candy dispenser. Awesome.